Hello guys, my name is Sudongwa and I'm just starting my book journey because I'm so invested in reading these days, and today I decided to talk to you about the Concise Law of Human Nature by the Robert Greene, and let's dive into it. And first of all, we have to study about our emotions, and more precisely, we have to take a look at our irrationality, because whenever we confront any kind of the issues or problems, we tend to just react them with our emotion without thinking and without finding the deep reasoning behind it. So, uh, so rationality is something we really need in order to in order to do more like quality job in a short term period. And like we are humans, we are also like kind of animals, but a little bit smarter, and that's why we still have that animal instinct, like just like others. And but when it comes to emotions, like such chemical thing turning into the reaction, uh, it is more subtler and preciser than the other kinds of animals. And okay, to acquire the rationality, we have to just first uh, like get must divide the rationality into two. uh, the first one is the log rate irrationality, and which means we do the actions by our unconscious levels, and without thinking, or it just happens by nature. But we can change it, but we don't get the hold of it because we never been like aware of this. That's why we have to take a look at these manners when we are communicating with other people, when we are like doing the decisions. And another kind of the irrationality is high grade irrationality, that is like that there are so many things that triggers the emotion on the world, and like especially when it comes to the pressure, they can convert into anger, depression, excitement, suspicion, and many other emotions. And every people have different triggers, so we have to take some time to understand it. And yeah, sometimes in more generally among the population, the impatience and re- resentments can be anger and like deep, that can bring the deep distrust. And there are some strategies to strengthen the thinking part of the brain. And first of all, we have to recognize the different kinds of biases. The very first bias is that confirmation bias, that is almost like the conviction bias, that we believe something to the extent and we don't look at the opposite side and any potential like truth of the other side. And and when you tend to just believe in something straightly, you have to ask yourself that how can our idea not be true if it brings out in us so much energy to defend it? Why are we defending it? Is there something like true or com- more probable thing on the other side? We have to take a look at that. I'm so sorry, this is so hot June day here, and also children are playing outside, but I love this atmosphere. and also there is appearance bias, because we tend to just treat more to the people who have like more beautiful appearance. Maybe that is a little bit ridiculous, and we do not have to like make decisions based on the other people's looks. And also it can be the personal quality. You know the only one quality of like the person, but you haven't seen the other qualities in different jobs, but you tend to just like understand as the performance shared done in the former like the thing trial. It's unfair, and it cannot promise like the believable it cannot promise you the truth, like true performance. And that's why we have to notice this behavior in our conversation or in our like reactions. And there is also one group bias, that is that favoring the ideas in own group and not like hearing or paying attention to other other individuals. And that also can be the racism, and that can be based on a lot of matters like the politics and language, maybe the birthplaces, and maybe race. And that cannot be there when it comes to the decision making. And there is also one, the superiority bias, that is that people like to imagine ourselves as a rational, decent, and ethical people. Like maybe every person likes to think of themselves as the best individual on the world, and I can't deny it. But if really they were like that, if really they were like they expected, the world will be the most peaceful and most beautiful and most productive place. But there is wars, there is racism, there is so many kinds of like problems still there. So we can't say it's working out. So we have to be more honest to ourselves. Like we are just one of them, not superior. Yeah. And rationality, and after all, the like little conclusion is that the rationality is the process of maturing. Yeah. And step number 2 for the strategy is that we must be aware of the triggers and inflaming factors. And there are trigger points from our early childhood, and you can observe such thing from the sudden at childishness. When no matter what age the people is at, people has people is, I'm sorry, they tend to have a more childish behavior when they like feel the trigger that they had in their early childhood. And also the sudden gains and losses can bring you can result in the irrationality, because let's talk about sudden gain, and there the people will be addicted to success, and they will be addicted to doing that more often, and they can be wrong sometimes. And about the losses, they will think them as our most like unluckiest people, and they will think they are so cursed, and they will just lead them to the irrational behavior. So we have to just stay in the balance between that. We cannot always win and we cannot always lose, so we have to think about that. And okay, whenever there are some cases we tend to react a lot, like frustration makes us just tell everything inside our head, and maybe there's some kind of emotion leads to a long cry. We have to take a look at that, and we have to try to monitor and take hold of it. And this was so interesting to know some individuals can like trigger irrationality within us, because you know sometimes you feel some extreme emotions when you think about some people, some specific person, and that is okay, and that's pretty normal for us. But still, to clear that out and to clear everything when you are about to do the decision, you can just notice it. You can just notice it and do a little meditation. And also there are some group effects, like in different group settings we just behave differently. Like when you're in maybe the art group, we tend to be more artistic, but when you're just like standing in the concert, the situation will be quite different. So no matter what we are, like what group settings we are at, we can like we must do the best decision based on the true and potential reasoning. And the third step is that strategy just to bring the rationality within us. And what makes you stand out? You have to identify about your like weaknesses and also strengths, and that can influence your rationality. And also you have to know the emotions to the roots, and what's the root of this decision, like this emotion, I'm sorry. You have to get to know about it. And next, when you are going to react so much, you can just take step back, just stop. That can bring you so much peace. And as I like told in my previous like the videos, the argument cannot bring peace, and argument can't solve the problem. So you can take a step back, and also accept people as facts. Like there are so many people like they are good at different things, they are not equally the same, and they are like a natural phenomenon, and they can be plants and they can be comet, but you just have to just accept that like everybody is different, so you just have to accept it. And then the rationality is not so hard. We can love being rational, and rationality can bring you more peaceful and more decision-based place that can enhance your job status maybe, and maybe communications, healthy relationship. And okay, let's move to the chapter 2 that was all about empathy. And empathy and okay, we can in the nutshell we can understand that the narcissism is the remit nemesis of the empathy. And there's everybody is narcissist in some way, but if we really tend to just manipulate others, and when we think we are too much superior than other people, we have to observe that, and we have to just try to be empathetic towards others, because I told you they're so different, and we just need some time to get to know about them. And okay, about the narcissism, there are like different kinds of narcissism, and but they're all the same. They just think they are superior than others. And here are the 4 types of empathy. Let's look at more positive thing. And one is empathetic attitude. Each person you meet is like an undiscovered country. They are different and they are also unique. And the second one is that visceral empathy. So we can just pay attention to the moods of people as indicated by their body language and tone of voice, and we can observe that. And when we're in the maybe group setting and communicating with other people, what kind of reactions they are giving, what kind of cues you can notice, and that way you can even conclude of yourself, what kind of thing I told them, and how am I making them feel like this. And the third empathy is analytic empathy, and there is like, I like people I know so much about. Like for example, we love our friends, we love our like family and siblings, like grandparents, and because we are so invested and we know a lot about them, that's why everybody is the same and everybody is so unique unique by the vision of others. And so you just need to discover it. And Abraham Lincoln once said that, I don't like that man, I must know better of him. Yeah, and there are 3 types of narcissists, and yeah, okay, to just get to tell them apart, you can just notice they are not paying attention to you like full-heartedly. They just thinking something else, and they just take care about their looks, their themselves, their status, and yeah. And also, if the person is holding so much envy and being so narcissistic and only thinks about him and thinks that the world is revolving around him, it's written that the envy can poison them, like their bad energy will poison them. So we have to just take it, like release it with the positivity. Okay, chapter 3. For the chapter 3, we are going to know about role playing, because, for example, we treat differently in interacting with other different people, and nobody knows the full of me, nobody knows the full of you, and uh, and it's said that the people are like a moon, and they only show one side of themselves, and that's why we can just use this to enhance our opportunity. Like, we actually are the actors naturally. And okay, you can just know a lot about the nonverbal cues of other people's, like they are having the open body language, body gestures, and they are raising their tones, and like half they are smiling at you. You can know a lot about that. And also, to use some non-verbal styles, you just imagine yourself as an actor. But we mustn't exceed that. We mustn't surpass the boundaries and healthy boundaries. And okay, when we're in the sad mood, we can just play a little more sadder, like a little more sad, like thinking about our past experience maybe. And also, we can just gain our first impression, and we must target who will be the audience to us. And we can also project the saintly qualities, like for example, Udonga helps others, Udonga is good at studying, and something like that. That can just change the other's mind. But still, we don't really have to need the validation of others, but we can just use it very few times when it's really needed. And if you are needing so much validation of others, you are still insecure, and you have lost confidence. And that is why we can validate ourselves. And also, the narcissistic peoples only have that kind of validation. And yeah, no matter how much the validation the others giving, you are still someone's favorite, and you're still your important person. Okay, let's end our video here, and thank you so much for being with me. And I will just proceed my book discussion by the next videos. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a great day.